Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning. Well, today we were scheduled to talk about House Bill 1628 with the sales and use tax rate reduction in services bill. And we were going to be joined, and actually we are joined by past President Bill Feely. Bill Feely, Ellen Silverstein, Betty Stamen had the pleasure and myself had the pleasure of testifying on Monday in opposition of House Bill 1628. Well, Bill, do you want to share the good news?
Well, the good news is it was defeated in committee, and the results came out yesterday. So fortunately, we don't. That's something we don't need to worry about anymore. But I just want everybody to keep in the back of their head: once they raise this ugly subject and it gets defeated, it doesn't mean it will never come back again. So I think we just need to be diligent about what the future holds.
Right, because let's see. Okay, so prior to this date, it was proposed in 2012, and before that it was 2007. So it
Right.
does show up periodically. So we have to be very diligent, making sure that this doesn't happen.
Right. That's one of the things that the legislative committee is constantly monitoring. As the bills come in that apply to taxes, sales taxes, personal property taxes, income taxes, corporate tax, estate tax, our committee monitors those on an ongoing basis. And we make sure that if we need to present testimony or in the worst case, go down and have to testify down there, that our committee is ready to go and that we can get troops rolling down there to show our strength in front of that legislation.
Right, and I'll tell you, it was a great coalition of people that we had. And we actually joined the coalition of the Maryland that the Maryland Chamber put together, and it was like 30 different associations, and that we brought together to have a unified voice against this bill. And I really think that was very impactful when we were down there on Monday. Don't you agree?
I do. And it was nice that I saw on the local news in Baltimore that Ellen had made the local news with part of what she had to say at the coalition's press conference. So
Right.
we're getting our name out there to everybody, and we're starting to become a force to be reckoned with. It was nice that we had as many people there to testify on our behalf as MACPA did on theirs.
Right.
So there is strength in numbers, and just because we're small numbers doesn't mean that we can't be just as strong as anybody else.
Right. And I'll tell you, I mean, you're right. There was a lot of people testifying. In fact, there was 119 people there with us, part of the coalition, because each association had a panel. So it was very, very. I think we really impressed the legislators on how we came in together and had that unified voice. And I really think that made the difference. And I think that's why it was defeated. I really do.
I do too. And kudos to the Board of Realtors, because they certainly rallied the troops. They must have had about 1,000 people down there for their rally outside of the State House, and then maybe 200 or 300 of them came over to the House chambers where the meeting was going to be, the hearing rather, and they really get the people out there, and they only need them for an hour or two, but it's the strength in numbers. When 1,000 people show up for something like that, it really says a lot for what you're doing.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. So, like I said, I really, again, for you and Ellen and for Betty to go down there in Annapolis and spend the entire day there, I mean, I really want to thank you, and the members of the society really appreciate all you did, because I know it's tax season and it took a lot of time from your practice to do this. But, it was a very important issue. And we had to merely make a stand. And so thank you and Ellen and Betty for what they did for that on Monday.
Absolutely. Thanks, Betty. Thanks, Ellen. Thanks, Sandy.
Now, I want to change gears a little bit. So I know coming up in June the 8th, we will be having our annual convention in Ocean City. And so, and if anybody hasn't noticed yet, Bill is actually down in Ocean City right now. You can see his advertising right there on his shirt. And so, as chair of the chair of the convention committee, want to share a little bit of what's going on for the convention?
Sure, I would love to. This year we're doing something a little bit different. To get our convention started this year for our first continuing ed panel, we are going to have an international speaker. His name is Matthew Pollard, and he wrote a book called The Introvert's Edge. And I just finished reading this, and it's very good. He talks about sales mostly in there, but what it is it's processes. And that's one of the things that we as accountants need to work on for our presentations to our clients and things like that, is developing the process of communicating information. Because the more you stick to your process, the greater your success is. And yes, there's going to be times when we need to make changes, but we need to humanize what we're doing with our clients. And that's really what he talks about in here. And he's going to be speaking to us for about 4 hours on the first day of the convention, which I believe is Monday. And,
Right.
And I really would love to see as many people come out for that as we can, because this is the first time we've ever tried anything like this. And we'd like to make this a success so that we can try this again in the future.
Now, I know, I mean, not only are we having the convention down there on the 8th, and there'll be the 8th through the 11th, but even if you just want to come down and hear Matthew Pollard, they could have that opportunity, correct? They
Yes.
could just come down for that?
Absolutely. We will be charging, it's a 4-hour class, and we are going to be charging $150 to attend the 4-hour class. And it's open to anyone, not just members or guests of our society, but we're also opening it up to MACPA, the Bar Association, the Board of Realtors, things like that, because it's wonderful that you can bring such international talent to a convention such as ours.
Right.
And I really would like to see the members support it.
Now, he's from Australia, is that right?
Yes, he's originally from Australia, but he lives in North Carolina now. So
Okay.
he will be flying up from North Carolina to attend our convention. And I think he's going to stay around for another day or so and attend our annual meeting and the banquet, I think. He hasn't been able to confirm that with me yet, but we're working on that.
Right.
And we're also going to have some of his books, which I just showed you, The Introvert's Edge. I never know which way to go with these things.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
So we'll try to do a book signing afterwards, because the society has bought several copies of the book so that you can purchase those from us, and we'll give you a small discount on the purchase price, and you can get Matthew Pollard to autograph your book for you, because it's not often we get this opportunity.
That's great. Now, he's going to be our kickoff. So what else can the people will be able to enjoy?
Well, on Tuesday, that's the day of our annual meeting. So we'll be having Frost and Associates do two-hour seminars that day. They're going to be more tax related. One is collection activity for high wealth individuals, and the other one is payroll tax liabilities and how the personal liability applies to payroll tax issues. They're both very timely topics, and we're looking forward to hearing from Frost and Associates for those. After the Frost things, we'll be having our annual meeting, and then that evening we will be having a cocktail hour over at Liquid Assets, compliments of Frost and Associates. Then on Wednesday, we will be having our tax speaker presentation, and it's going to be 2 topics built into one day: the pros and cons of C corporations and the pros and cons of S corporations. Normally they do that as a 2-hour and a 6-hour or 2-hour and 8-hour presentation, but we're going to get them to do both of them in an 8-hour presentation. And I think anybody under the new tax law that has clients that have been debating whether they should be C Corps or S Corps, this is a great opportunity for you to figure out the pros and cons of each.
Oh, I think that's a great topic. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Bill, can you do me a favor? Bill,
Yes.
do me a favor. Stop rocking. You're making me seasick.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then on our last day, our wrap-up is going to be Kate Ladon talking to us, and she's going to be working more on the marketing side, but trying to tie in the things that Matthew Pollard has been talking about on the first day, with what we have always done in the past and everything, and try to meld the two together to make a good wrap up out of the session.
Oh, wow. So that's great. And so a very strong weekend event. And we have a great menu of speakers planned. And like I said, and I just want to do a shout out to Frost and Associates for hosting that event at Liquid Assets. And because that was really nice of them to put that together.
It is. And one last thing, and I know Sandy's going to shoot me later for saying this, but guys, I want everybody to remember, this is Sandy's last convention as our executive director. And I really would like to see a good turnout to say goodbye to Sandy. At the same time, will be our new executive director, Kelly Baxter, will be coming in and being sworn in as our new executive director. So let's come out and support our new executive director, Kelly, as well as saying goodbye to Sandy, because Sandy certainly deserves all the praise and accolades that we could possibly give her. She's done a great job for the society over the years. And let's everybody make an effort to come and say goodbye.
No pressure, right, Bill?
Right, no pressure.
Well, thank you, Bill. Thank you so much for those kind words. That was really, and like I said, and you know what, and the amazing thing is, we've always had this convention in May, but this year we're moving it to June, just the way the calendar landed. So it's after Memorial Day weekend. So, I mean, come down, and we never did tell them where we're going to be. We're going to be at the Princess Royale, which is, I believe, on 92nd Street, Bill, I believe.
Yes, it is. 92nd Street and the beach. So we'll be right here, right in the heart of everything, and it'll be lots of things to do. And for those of you who enjoy Ocean City, remember, I believe that's following weekend is Father's Day weekend, and the air show and everything will be down here. So think about staying some extra time and enjoying things.
Right. So for one exclusive price, they get the 3 nights. So what do they get in their package?
Well, they get accommodations for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evening.
Right.
They get Monday's speaker, which is Matthew Power.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, they get Frost and Associate for the 2 speakers. The annual meeting, the happy hour at Liquid Assets. Obviously, our own hospitality suite will be opened.
Right.
Then on Wednesday, they will have the 8 hours
of tax speaker,
followed by our installation banquet and meal. And you get to welcome our new incoming president, Barbara Smith. That's where Kelly will be sworn as our new executive director. And we kick Sandy out that night. So it'll be fun, and I hope all of you will come to see that.
Right.
And then we'll wrap it up on Thursday with Kate Ladon.
Right. So they get 18 hours of CPE. Yeah, 18 hours of CPE, the meals, the hospitality, the fun stuff, and as well as enjoying the hospitality and all the networking they can possibly do.
Absolutely. It'll be a networking bonanza.
Yes. And so, like I said, we're going to be at the Princess Royale. And if people want to come down early or late, we have extended the stay contract. So we're going to have that. They'll have that opportunity as well.
Yes. And I think we got a discount on the rates for that as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think you're right. So I think we're going to be starting to advertise that. I think that's going to be up on the website very shortly. So if you're looking to attend, you definitely want to sign up early, because like I said, I think it's going to be a really dynamic week down in Ocean City. We're lucky to have in June after Memorial Day, and I think it's going to be really a fun time for all.
I think so too. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Great. Well, Bill, I really want to thank you for joining me this morning from your balcony in Ocean City.
Yeah, I just have a few comments that I would like to make on top of this. And it really doesn't relate to any subject that we've talked about. We're at the middle of tax season now, guys.
Okay.
We still have a long way to go. Make sure you take care of yourself along the way. Take some time to enjoy life. It's very short. It's precious. There's only one of you. So make sure you take care of that one of you. And spend time with your wife, your kids. Life is still going on. life goes on around us. Even though we may miss a lot of it for 4 months, make sure you take time to stop and smell the roses. Enjoy it. Life isn't all about working. That's all I have to say on that
Well,
subject.
Bill, I think that's really some important words to share with everyone, because you're right. Everyone is so busy with tax season right now, and especially with the March 15th reporting date with the corporations and partnerships is just around the corner. It's next, it's in a very few days. I know we're all reaching a stress point. So I think these are very important words that you're sharing. And as we get older, I think it's something that we really have to remember. And I have to remind ourselves of these things.
Yes, we do. Having a heart attack or a stroke or whatever is the end of your career in most cases. So make sure that you stop and take care of yourself. We don't want to see you end that way. There's so much good out there, but take a little bit of time. Enjoy yourself.
Well, thank you so much for that. And thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
And again, thank you for joining us this morning, and enjoy this. Yeah, I know you get out there taking the nice view of the ocean down there, which I'm very jealous.
Yeah, I'm sitting out here on the patio right now. And when we finish up here, I think I'm going to go take the dog for a walk down on the beach.
Wonderful.
So fun.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. So,
Yep.
As Bill alluded to, next about Frost & Associates going to be in Ocean City. Frost & Associates does a lot of seminars with us, and they have a very huge menu of options and topics that they present for us. And thankfully, next week, actually, Eli Knopf and Justin Hughes will be joining me on the show, and they will be talking about all the upcoming programs they'll be doing with the society, and that includes this the convention event as well as the dinner series. So they're going to be joining us next week. So due to their schedule, we have to change the time. The show will be 1:00 next Thursday. So if you hopefully you can join us. Eli is always a pleasure to talk to, and Justin as well. And I look forward to our conversation with Eli and Justin. So again, thank you, Bill, for joining us, and for all
My
those
pleasure.
all of us joining us on the internet. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next Thursday at 1.